Well, we were bombed at from May 10th to May 14, and 14, that's when we ran away. And by the way, Joe, I have to give you the nuns a lot of credit there. They helped all the poor people, those that couldn't walk too easily, those with big pack, to get on the trains to get away. They were really, and they gave us food. We found out later, I don't know whether this, it was deviled ham, but God says he ate anything in order to survive.
Oh, God.
Now, I had in my bag, my little bag, it had just been Passover the month before, and I had some matzah. So could you imagine how matzah with deviled ham together? Okay, that's what we had, but we survived, and it really worked. In August, 75 days after our escape, the fortress Brindong in Belgium became a Sicherheitspolizei manned by the Nazis, the SS troops. They were just as brutal in Belgium at that time in killing people. Those they didn't kill, they sent on to Auschwitz to die. Not too many people know about Brindung, but I do my research. The torture and brutality compared to Auschwitz. Those who worked were given 2 cups of acorn coffee and 3 ounces of bread daily. But the interesting thing is many of them lived for years with it. And here we go feeling sorry, we need these multiple vitamins. God, I forgot my C today. Do I dare go out of the house today? I didn't take my C or my vitamin D. Where's vitamin D? Where's the sunlight? It's not here today. No, we were made to really, exist and to take almost anything that nature or man sends our way, actually. On to France. Meanwhile, the Luftwaffe continued to bomb and strafe the train. At one point, we left the main track parked in a railroad siding for many days while the French moved their troops going north. Now imagine, I'm 7 years old, my brother is 9. We are now in a train that has no light, no food, no water for 2 or 3 days. I don't remember how long. And they're bombing us regularly. That's part of the traumas and things that we had to put up with. To this day, both my brother and I look up nervously when we hear a single engine airplane pass overhead. It takes a long time to do that. Anyway, we finally got away from that. We ended up in a little town of Villariès, and this is a happy time again for a little while. We went to a Polish farm, abandoned Polish farm, and what I liked about Villariès is you could walk into town and you can pick peaches right off the trees, cherries. You could pick all kinds of things on it. I thought that they were the biggest peaches in the world because they were this big. What I didn't realize is that I was this small. So they looked very big that way. And they also had a magnificent tea tree in front of it. Maybe someday I'll go back to Villariès and look it over. And I love the cows. Whenever we go on the trips, I'm looking for cows because they're so placid, so quiet, I'd stay away from the bulls, both throwing it or seeing them, both. We escaped to Casablanca. The captain of our freighter got cold feet and headed for Casablanca. I think I mentioned that to you. Okay, Casablanca, as soon as we got there, they kept us 4 days or 5 days on the ship. They thought we were bringing communicable diseases in one of the dirtiest cities in the world. Casablanca at the time. They had a disease that 1 out of 4 or 1 out of 3 Arabs had trachoma, something where the eyes turn white. Unbelievable, dirty. And yet when we went into town and we needed some water because it's very, very hot over there, they had these donkey skins. You kill the donkey, you skin it, and then you put a little faucet at the end, fill it with water, and you got one little cup that everybody's going to drink out of. And if you have a Frank with you, you give him the Frank and he gives you a little bit of water like that. Very, very sanitary conditions. Highly recommended today. Casablanca, very little food. We got what we could from the Hayas. I don't know how many people are familiar with Hayas?
Yes.
Okay, that's the Hebrew Immigration Association Society. And they sent a little bit of money and they helped a little bit with us. So we always give thanks to them for that. My parents gave us away for Passover to 2 Jewish Arab families. So we'd have a respite and they would have a respite from us. So they said they didn't want our education to lack. So these 2 different homes that we were in sent us to the Hebrew school, where there was a Jewish Arab there with a cat of 9 tails. You know what it is?
Yes.
Okay. Well, it did not remain unemployed long when I was around. I'm telling you. Anyway, the final solution aspired to destroy the Jews living in North African nations. People don't know this. Moroccan Jews performed forced labor under the Vichy French. The French soldiers killed thousands of Jews in the neighboring countries of Algeria, Libya, and Tunisia under the watchful eyes of the German command. Many thousands worked in labor camps, long hours, with very little food. At one point, 300 European Jews were deported to Auschwitz for extermination. And then, to our luck, a strange miracle, the Germans were losing the war in Russia. They had a 1,700-mile front. They were fighting with ice and snow and all against the Russians who were used to that. So they started to send food to them. And when they started to send food on those ships, they didn't have room for refugees. That's another kind of a miracle, a strange one. So that's the reason why, we're still alive to talk about that. Anyway, they came and took a census of us. I still have the card that tells, and where we lived. And we lived in fear then. We didn't know they were going to come and get us. My first sexual experience, close your ears. I was 8 years old now. There was a lady, an Arab lady named Fatima. Shame. Got to report you to the bishop. I was about 8 years old. She would come over to me. She was really fat, and she'd go like this, "Paki, paki, paki, paki." I ran like the devil. My second experience was when this little girl, another refugee, I won't use her name, I never forgot of them, and she said, she took me into the bathroom, a communal bathroom, locked the door, and she said, "I'll show you mine if you'll," and you know the rest of the story. What a life. American fruit, American, here we come. December 31, 1942, the French Air Force decided to bomb Casablanca on orders from the German occupiers. So the whole city was now in darkness. They didn't want they didn't want the French to see where the bombs should fall, except the Arab quarters that were busy celebrating their coming back. So they built huge bonfires. So guess what they bombed? Everything around the bonfires, which was okay with us then. We didn't raise too much of a fuss at that. Okay, a little bit of humor. Growing older. Now that you can afford expensive jewelry, it's not safe to wear it anymore. You read 100 pages into a book before you realize you've read it before. I just did that again. The things you used to care for to do, you no longer care to do, but you really do care that you don't care to do them anymore. There's a conflict. When you needed a discount, you paid full price. Now you get discounts on everything, movies, hotels, flights, but you're too tired to use them. The 5 pounds you wanted to lose is now 15. You forget names, but it's okay because other people forget they even know you. But old is good in some things. Old songs, old movies, and old friends. So that's still okay. I'm in America now. I immediately go to work, like the first day. And by the way, my parents signed up the second day to go to night school to learn English. Right? Thank you. Right away, they knew what to be an American is. When I opened up my Care Plus book to look at the instructions, there were 38 different languages in there for Florida. It's insanity. And they don't want to learn English. Okay, that's a problem that they've got to work on, not me. I go to work. So where do I go to work? On Delancey Street in Manhattan, where they got all the push carts. And a lady puts me in charge of a push cart saying, "Don't let anybody steal any fruit or vegetables. You give you $1.50 a day." Well, the day comes to a close and she fired me. What's that? She said, "You ate more than all of the people bought all together." She forgot I was a refugee and this was all new to me, that I can have whatever I can get then. So I was fired, the first management decision against me. But I think she was right about that. 2 years later, I was almost 11. 2 years later, my grandpa taught me the prayers designed to turn me into a man according to Jewish tradition. As soon as I'm a man, I commit my first sin, because now I'm responsible for my own sins. So what do? I steal 10 silver dollars that were given to me for my bar mitzvah. So, nachafintel, you all know what that means? Another pound? we had a friend, noch a Viertel. Every time you saw her, she added another pound to her weight. And so we called her that. And she's asking my mother after the bar mitzvah, so how did Jacqueline like my 2 gifts? My mother says, what 2 gifts? You gave him a wallet. She says, what about the 10 silver dollars I gave him? Jacqueline, come here. So I had to think fast. And you know, I'm a survivor, I had to be. So she says, what happened to the $10? Well, it's like this, Mom. She says, Irving wanted to run away from home and he needed some money to help him. So I gave him half the money. See, I did a mitzvah by stealing. Is that allowable? Anyway, I didn't get away with that one, but at least I tried. Je ne regrette rien. Anybody knows that Edith Piaf song? I don't regret anything. Because I am today what I am because of what I was and everything I went through and all. And I'm pretty happy being who I am now. I'm not afraid to look straight in the mirror and talk to me as if, hey, it's okay. You know, you're telling nothing but the truth. And that's great. So, you know, in 1841, Emerson wrote the beautiful thing. He said, each man has his own vocation. The talent is the call. So since I always got in trouble by speaking out of turn, I became a speaker. And then I get paid to do what I used to get in trouble for, which is kind of nice and a little different than that. So, my first job when I graduated Eastern District High School, anybody here from that school? Williamsburg, Brooklyn, where we live? Okay. You're only half the couple. Where's the rest?
South 4th Street.
Oh, okay. No, I mean, where's the missus?
Working. Somebody got to work.
Oh.
Somebody got to
Yeah,
work.
smart man. See, there you go. Anyway, I went to, Swartchild and Company on West 47th. Everybody knows it's the jewel district. The thing is, I learned about lying in the business world right then and there. Because they advertise in watches 18 jewels. I was selling little packets of jewels. 390235S was the serial number, I still remember. I was selling a gross of those jewels, 144 for $2.99. That's 2 cents a piece. And they were telling everybody it's got 18 jewels. They didn't tell you they're immovable. They just to hold the, to hold the screws together. So I learned my first lesson about that kind of stuff. And then it's gotten worse and worse. And I have the greatest invention of the 20th century, or 21st century in my hand, the mute button. I don't listen to commercials. I laugh because they're funny somewhat, but I will not listen. I don't want to be brainwashed into buying anything by anybody out there. Anyhow, okay, I'm getting ready to close down a little bit here. My happiest year. I went to move to the YMHA in New York, the 92nd Street Y, the world famous one, with Kaufman Auditorium, where the world's great speakers are. And one of these days I want to try to get in there. Tried once, and so far we didn't make it, right? Anyhow, I met people, young men and women from all over the world going to that YMHA. It brings them, because it's an intellectual place. It's a wonderful place to learn and to be with people, to sit up till 4 a.m. in the morning talking about solving the problems of the world, etc. So that was the happiest year of my life. And I met a fellow named Jerry Samuels. And he was literally off the wall. When he felt that he needed, he would take Thorazine. Just carry the pills in his pocket. But he was a wonderful songwriter. And I bet some of you will remember the song, "They're Coming to Take Me Away, Ha Ha." No?
No. Oh, sure.
You do? Okay.
Coming to take me away. Oh.
Yeah, that was his. And The Shelter of Your Arms, which was done by, what's his name, by Sammy Davis Jr. So, but he was a little off the wall. And we... That's where I met wife number 1. Interesting how I won her, literally. Beautiful lady, very smart, had a lot of problems. We are now very good friends. We had a lot of problems. And when I saw her, it was immediate falling in love, like first sight. I told Jerry, he said, oh no, she came into my house to see me, and I get first chance to date her. I said, I'll tell you what, we'll toss a coin. Whoever wins gets to date her for 30 days, like she had nothing to say about it. I won the toss coin, and I married her. And she became my first divorce. And she's a dear friend. She lives Lake Placid now, and once or twice a year we go over to see her. And She paints wonderfully. The back of my book, which is somewhere, Carol? The back of my book is a collage. The front is a painting by her, and the back is a collage done by my friend Mark of my life. So as soon as I saw those two things, I said I had the right covers for the book, front and back. Anyhow, I went into the Air Force for 4 years. Recreation specialist. Everybody remembers Senator Joe McCarthy. He decided to take from me 2 years of writing to see if I was a communist or not. They broke into my lockers, they broke my civil rights and all, and I was told by the base priest, who was a friend of mine, Lieutenant Long, he said, and the legal department, you don't have to write anything or print anything until you're out of the service. I said, I wasn't intended to. They finally gave it to me. 9 months later, they gave it to me. So that's another story. Anyway, I can keep going on, but I feel there may be some questions here, and you want to look at the 4 books. Oh, he said, that's my first book, Options.
Keep talking because you don't have your book.
We don't have the book here? There's a whole case of it.
In my car.
Oh, in your car. Good place. Oh, you've got to use it. It does a lot of good in the car. It's sitting there by itself. Anyway, you know what I had 200 books in my lockers in the Air Force. 200 books. I was a reader, always reading, self-taught. And they took away 2 books from me, The Conquest of Happiness by Bertrand Russell and The Life of Buddha. Don't ask me why. Those are the 2 books they chose. So anyway, I got back my papers, and you know what I did? The wrong thing. I destroyed them. I said it gave me a lot of heartache. I lost a promotion and everything else, and my secret status with the Air Force, so I gave it up and down. Now let me give my best ideas code for my autobiography, and I'll be done. The very best ideas, okay? My personal philosophy: today make my life better than yesterday and not as good as tomorrow. This is best done by helping others with their lives. We must understand how crucial it is for us to eliminate anger, hatred, envy, and thoughts of revenge from our subconscious, lest we continue to carry these silent kills. Ladies, please, I'm almost done. Thank you.
Good manners.
To guarantee longevity, laugh at yourself in life frequently, because I believe one of the attributes God also has is a great sense of humor. If not, I wouldn't believe it. Don't take the personal I, meaning you, too seriously. Really, we're not that important. We're really not. We may think we are, but not. Be non-judgmental when dealing with anyone, including yourself. When life throws you a lemon, begin to build a lemonade stand right away.
Girls.
Dispense love with largesse. The more you give away, the more you're left with. It's an interesting paradox, but you're creating a vacuum that is filled by the universe. Live life loosely. Relax. This has nothing to do with your BMs. Let your epitaph read, that I left the world a little bit better than I found it. Motivation without a healthy self-image works like a flashlight with no batteries. Don't tell me what to think. Give me options instead. That's why my first book is called Options from Within. And my favorite line that I wrote, regarding the trip called life, the journey inward gives us the best mileage. So I'm through, and I'd like to thank you so much. Any questions or comments? My wife is bringing the book over. Meanwhile, I had 3 others that I'd written that you could look at. Yes, sir.
I'd just like to say something. You know, we live in a precious world here. And I never realized the other end of the world until I went into the Air Force. And I saw poverty that was beyond my belief. You just said you walk in poverty. Philippines, cooking outside with the street, tired when you walk down, you had to hold your nose. Has things really changed that much?
Yeah, for the worse.
For the worse.
The world for the worse, absolutely. I don't know where we're heading.
I agree.
But America too, in a downward spiral, it's not getting better. And even Miami, I mean Florida, every day there's some shootings going on and nobody says...
They're changing the name to Wild West.
The Wild West. Yeah. Anyway, any questions, comments, please take a look at the books. They're $20 each, 2 for $35, yes, sir.
Sir?
Sir, Rabbi.
Jacques, I just wanted to say to you that those statues that you ran past the stains and the stuff that the nuns and priests did to you to scare you forced you into that excellence that you and your brother got.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
It forced you into the excellence. And a comment I'd like to make in general. When I first came in here, you folks, ladies, were talking about your budget and about books. The first thing dictators take away from the people are their guns. The second thing they take are their books.
True.
The fact that you're helping these young children have books, you're enabling them to do better. With guns, we only do terrible things. Tomorrow I'm doing a funeral for a 35-year-old man who was shot and killed in a drive-by in Miami. He has 3 babies.
Ah,
How do we stop it?
We stop it by starting right with each other. Tolerance, acceptance, caring.
I think you stop it by better judges to stand behind the bench and give somebody 2 years for murder.
This is a conversation we have for the next 3 weeks. Back to you, Jeff.
okay, anybody else, comments, or look at the books? And, you
Did you
know,
always
They
speak
need more
English
Pierce
like
Morgans
this,
around.
or did you have an accent?
would you like me to speak in Yiddish?
No, I don't understand it.
Oh, okay.
No, she does it so well.
Yeah. Well, she's saying you speak so
Oh,
well.
no, I made sure that I spoke well. I didn't want to be called a greener tuchus, you know?